We meet again, Mr. Bond. Now, you remember how I said last year that it was the most stressful year of my life? Oh, was I wrong? In the last year I had bought a car, I've got married, by the way, and also I've bought a fucking house. So, yeah, it's been a bit more mental than last year. And once again, I have left myself extremely little time to make a video. We'll go by the usual chronological release order at the cinema. And yeah, let's just get straight into it, because I have to get this edited and out by midnight tomorrow night, because I'm a genius and always leave myself loads of time. Help. So, in January, we started the year off with Megan. I mean, it's an alright horror film, I'll give it that. The two lead actors, the woman and the kid, I mean, I think they did pretty well. Other than the uncanny valley look of the robot, it didn't really start getting creepy until about 40 minutes in. I mean, also, I got a laugh when the robot starts singing Titanium. But yeah, the last hour of the film is fucking great. My personal opinion on AI, we're probably going to regret it in the future. So yeah, 7 out of 10. Then of course, there was The Old Way. I don't know what it is, but for some reason, 2023 seems to be the year of Nicolas Cage. He's just fucking everywhere, and I love it. Less than 5 minutes into this film, and there's already a use of the Wilhelm scream. Love it. We've got some stoic Cage acting to start the year off. Not his usual crazy, but don't worry, we'll get that soon enough. It's a pretty straightforward film. The bad guys' lackeys were a bit crap, but all in all, a reasonably okay old-school Western-style film if you've got 90 minutes to kill. But don't expect to watch it ever again. 6 out of 10. And as per usual, I'll be mentioning films that I haven't seen throughout the year, but I do feel like there's some kind of mention, such as this one, the Teen Wolf movie. I mean, I watched the TV show years ago, and honestly, I didn't even know this movie was a thing. I might give it a look in future. In February, there was Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania. What the hell was this film? Rubbish. That's what it was. So, straight away, I think... Oh, also, what the hell was up with that giant fucking face? Like, fucking hell, man. Like, CGI is just getting so goddamn slapdash these days, and it's just embarrassing. 5 out of 10. Cocaine Bear. Honestly, I was bored for the first half. I mean, I only started laughing by about the 50-minute mark when the paramedics showed up and tried to drive away from the bear, which results in the bear slow-mo jumping into the back of the ambulance, and then the two paramedics and the park ranger die quickly and hilariously. Excellent scene. But it's still not great. So 5 out of 10. In March there was Scream 6. Like, this is another old horror IP that just needs to die. Like, just end this stupid series already. Shazam 2, Fury of the Gods. It got a few laughs out of us. The wizard in Billy's dream as Wonder Woman was fucking priceless. Actions from the last film have consequences. What a novel idea in today's world. The best villain of the trio was Lucy Liu, because she was the only one that remembered that she's supposed to be a villain. Wonder Woman quite obviously wasn't there, or wasn't available at the time of filming, so honestly to me it looks for all the world like they green screened Gal Gadot in there later. And for what it's worth, even though it was CGI'd into oblivion, I did like all the mythical monsters that showed up towards the end. It was solid 7 out of 10 entertainment. Also in March was John Wick 4. And the wife and I have got a John Wick collection, chapters 1 to 4, so we'll be watching those soon anyway, so unfortunately it's not making it into this video. Dungeons & Dragons Honor Among Thieves. Quality adventure entertainment. I've never played D&D, but part of me's wondering how many maximum luck rolls they managed to pull out of their arse in this one. There's good use of practical effects as well. I mean, when they could, obviously. And actually, it's legitimately funny at times. Yeah, the owlbear yeeting a Red Witch Hulk style was good. And if that sentence made absolutely no sense to you, I'm not surprised. 8 out of 10. Shin Kamen Rider. Yes, please. Hook it to my veins. Also, I find the difference between the movie version of Hongo and the canon TV series version of Hongo to be amusing. In this movie interpretation, he's just too kind-hearted to his own detriment, whereas the TV version would probably think he was a pussy. The variation in baddies is good, and honestly, I'm surprised that they managed to keep it going at such a fast pace. One last thing I have to add, why did the ultimate bad guy split his head in two, only to put a helmet on top of it 5 seconds later? It does seem a bit random and pointless. Pfft, whatever. 7.5 out of 10. In April, we had the Super Mario Brothers movie. Yeah, it's decent entertainment for a dumbass like me. Also, why do people keep repeatedly hiring Seth Rogen as a voice actor, or just an actor in general? He's not that good. It's a good family film if you've got young kids. There's no real politics in it, and the story is pretty straightforward. Also, Luigi is as useless as ever and doesn't really do much for half the film. I mean, A+ for that unhinged star in the cage. The Pope's Exorcist. Most unintentionally funny film of the year, and I can't explain why. All I know is that Russell Crowe should do more horror movies. 7 out of 10. Renfield. Good lord, where do I start? Even the intro backstory had me laughing, pasting Nicolas Cage over Bela Lugosi. The over-the-top violence and acting shows how much they were playing into the absurdness and the campness of it all. And all in all, it was quality ridiculousness. Also, Nicholas Hoult seems to have a thing for monsters and their humanity. You know, Beast in the new X-Men, and then that movie Warm Bodies that he did like a decade ago, and now this. I mean, I guess he just gets the theme. In May, few films came out, but honestly, I don't really care about any of them. You know, Guardians of the Galaxy Part 3 came out, and I just don't care. And the sad thing is that the original Guardians of the Galaxy is probably one of my favourite Marvel films. And also, there was Fast and the Furious 10. The live-action version of The Little Mermaid also came out, and again, I don't give a damn, because I bought the wife a Blu-ray collection of all the animated Disney classics about 2 years ago at Christmas. So, pfft. In June, there was Across the Spider-Verse. Excellent use of visual styles, just like the last film. Honestly, the best location was Indian Spider-Man's homeworld. Also, Miguel O'Hara might as well just wear a giant neon sign that says, "I'm the bad guy" on his back. The whole escape scene from the Spider HQ thing was a challenge to spot all of the references and different Spider characters. They even included Bagman, which has been a running joke, or at least as far as I'm aware, for more than 20 years now. There's still a third film to wrap up the story, which is still to come. Also, Nicolas Cage better come back. 6.5 out of 10. Transformers: Rise of the Beasts. Stop following me. I'm not following you, I'm just escaping in the same direction. Best line in the movie. Okay, fine. you had a little spark of inner child of me that was happy to see the Maximals again, because Beast Wars was my introduction to Transformers, though a part of me was disappointed that there was no Dinobot. Only the real G's remember the episode Code of Hero. And so, honestly, I'd probably give it like a 6.5 out of 10. The Flash. Unironically, this had more heart than Indiana Jones 5, and for the record, I saw this film after The Dial of Destiny, but having to put up with 2 Ezra Millers is officially my new vision of hell. Best part of the film is all the different Batmans. Worst part, the over-reliance on CGI. I get it. A lot of it couldn't be done without it, but I'm slowly getting tired of endless over-the-top CGI in recent years. It's a great way to visualize things, but I know it isn't real, so it makes me care less. And it's a shame because I love time travel fiction. You know, Doctor Who is my favourite TV show of all time, but I don't feel that this deserves any higher than a low 6 out of 10. Elemental. Yeah, it's a cute film. The scenes with Ember and Wade were the strong points. I mean, other than Ember's mum, the rest of the characters were meh. It's an okay kid-friendly family film, and I guess the message is tell the truth and do things for yourself. Don't do something because you feel you have to make other people happy. And in most cases, it's better to just tell the truth and do what you want to do in life. If your family loves you, they will understand and they'll support you anyway. So, a solid, strong 6 out of 10. Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny. Oh god, the dialogue in the Moroccan auction room. Just kill me. The CGI looked okay at the start of the film, but it just got progressively more wonky, which takes you out of the experience. You know, Helena, there's a difference between being witty or having snappy comebacks and being a fucking insufferable twant. And at the end of it all, I'm left asking the questions, why exactly was this movie made? What was the point they were trying to make? Hell, I'm even looking back on the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull way more favourably now, because at least that, more or less, still had the spirit of the original 3 films, but this, like, it has everything that you want in an Indiana Jones film, but it just feels dead inside. Yeah, it was all destined to happen anyway, so when you get right down to the core, this film is a big nothing burger, and it didn't really need to happen. Like, if you're feeling super nostalgic of the old films, I guess, at best, I would give it a 6 out of 10. In July, there was Insidious: The Red Door. Why are these films still going? Like, I mean, last one I watched was Insidious: The Last Key? I think? How long ago was that? I have no idea. Mission Impossible: Dead Reckoning Part 1. Well, I reckon you'll be dead bored after the 2-hour mark. It just would not let up, and the fucking thing is nearly 2 hours and 50 minutes long. Don't get me wrong, I love action, but when it just won't stop, that's when it starts to get tedious. I've never seen a Mission Impossible film all the way through before, so the story was interesting to a point, but other than finally retrieving the key at the end, there was no real payoff. I guess that's what part 2 is for, but it was just the near constant next thing, next thing, next thing, next thing, next thing. If it was like 50 minutes shorter, and you could easily cut out and junk some scenes altogether, like for example, the car chase in the yellow Fiat 500, what does that fucking add to anything? Make the film shorter, and it probably would be a lot more enjoyable. It's got the potential to be a 6 out of 10, but the film length just makes it a 5. And then the two films came out at the same time, Barbie and Oppenheimer, which for some reason the internet was inspired to like make Barbenheimer memes, or yeah, it was just really weird. It's like, I guess because it was like two like polar opposites, and for some reason everyone found that funny. Something dead serious and something just not serious at all. And out of these two films, I cared for neither of them and didn't watch them. You know, good on you if you watched either one or both and enjoyed them, but I just did not care. You know, it's again, films that I'll probably get round to eventually, but Sympathy for the Devil. Nicolas Cage, our faithful lunatic in an odd thriller. It's not his best work this year, but still amusing, only if just for Nicolas Cage's acting. 5.5 out of 10. August. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Mutant Mayhem. The wife refers to this as visual vomit. Other than that, it's mildly entertaining. The references, and there are a lot of them, will date this film really fucking quickly. And a lot of the jokes just go on 5 times longer than they should, which just makes it cringe-inducing to watch. And it's just really embarrassing for the people who wrote this. 4.5 out of 10. The Meg 2, The Trench. I'll be saving this film because next year I'm going to do a Shark Spectacular Volume 2, which the first half came out 10 fucking years ago. Can you believe that? Jesus Christ. That's how little I actually put out videos. Whew. But yeah, look out for that one in future. Last Voyage of the Demeter. Like, I'm big mad that Amazon doesn't have this. Like, it's on American Amazon Prime, but not on the UK version. Why? Why is this? I have no idea. In September, there was The Nun 2. Yes, Valak, we get it. We know you're evil. Next. A Haunting in Venice. Tashman the Detective returns again. So, the answer to who the killer was not the blatant double bluff character that we spend most time with, like the last film, but the character we spend the least amount with, to the point that I forgot she was even in the film. Epic writing, guys. So this gets 7 out of 10 because Poirot got drugged and was tripping absolute balls. Expendables 4. Brainless action. And I kind of needed it after watching a miserable film before it. It's a stupid and obvious plot. Jason Statham pretty much carried the entire thing. Although, what the fuck was that ending? I mean, I still laughed, but it was a bit evil. 5 out of 10. Saw 10. Jesus Christ, give the guy retirement. Leave him alone. In October was a flurry of films I didn't really give a crap about as well. Pet Sematary Bloodlines. The first one was so rubbish. Why would I put myself through that again? There's a Five Nights at Freddy's movie. I literally don't care. I've seen Willy's Wonderland again, which was probably funnier, and it had Nicolas Cage in it. And speaking of Nicolas Cage in October, there was also Butcher's Crossing, which I will give this score. As we go towards the end of the year, in November we have The Marvels. Literally don't care. Like, I've just, ever since, like, I'm like most people, I kind of gave up. I tried watching some of the Phase 4 stuff, and it's just meandering around. It doesn't have like an overarching plot. It doesn't know what to do with itself now that Thanos is gone. There was Disney's Wish, which I haven't seen, but apparently tries to retcon like all their previous films into a shared universe at the end. Like, why? Why does everything have to be a cinematic universe? Why can't something just be its own thing? It's Like, insert it's also tiresome. In December, you've got Wonka, yet another bloody prequel that no one wanted and nobody asked for. Chicken Run 2, Dawn of the Nugget. Why? What? Why? Why? Why make this after 23 years? Stop ruining bits of my childhood. It's getting really fucking annoying, boomers. Stop it. Like, it doesn't even have the same people voicing the characters. Like, there's 0 point in this fucking film. The current iteration of the DC universe ends with Aquaman 2 and the Lost Kingdom. And, yeah, that's it. They're just gonna reboot the entire bloody thing after 10 years. After not getting really anywhere. And then, of course, we round the year off with Godzilla -1. Oh, thank God. A nice palate cleanser at the end of the year of a film I actually enjoyed going to see. For me, Godzilla -1 was definitely a 8.5 out of 10. It's probably the film I enjoyed the most, like, going to see at the cinema. And, yeah, the wife's score would be 10 out of 10 because she loves Godzilla. Maximum Godzilla, please. Maximum Monster as well. I'm gonna need a lot of these to edit this fucking video in time. Let's move on to the conclusion section. I don't think there's going to be an attention deficit award this year because there's just so many films that came out that I just have 0 interest in. So, best film of the year is unironically the last film I saw of the year, which is Godzilla -1. Thank God. Like, there are still decent filmmakers out there, and they actually made Godzilla scary again. And the funny thing is, like, they spend most of their time not on Godzilla. It's literally the people. And for once, the people aren't written craply like they are in the American ones. Like, the whole kind of, like, you just don't care about the people and you just want to see the giant monsters fighting. But I actually gave a damn about every single character they introduced. That's how you make people care. And then you care even more when a giant monster shows up and just takes it all away from people. Giant lizard go rah, explodey breath, maximum points. Worst film of the year. This is actually quite a hard one because normally there's a standout film that's rubbish that I can point to and go, yes, that is a crap film, or the worst thing I saw this year. But a lot of the films that I saw this year were just mid, you know, they were just so average. And, you know, it's hard, it's actually difficult for me to pick. So I'm just going to scroll back through my list here for a moment and pick one. Okay, I'm back. I'm going to give it to Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning, mainly because it was just such a chore to sit through. Like, the amount of times I had to pause and go away to do something else that was more important or more pressing. That's how you know a film is boring. Like, it just... You find other things to do. You have to go off and amuse yourself during amusement. I mean, I've got no hard feelings towards you, Tom Cruise, but to me, it's probably not, I wouldn't say it was terrible, but it was just the film that I enjoyed the least this year. A special runner-up goes to Mutant Mayhem, you know, the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles film, mainly because it was just so embarrassing and cringe-inducing to watch. But probably the worst cinema experience is Mission Impossible because it's just so goddamn boring. God, my video making is absolutely fucking stellar this year, and it's going to be absolutely atrocious video to watch. Conclusions. Well, like I said at the start, this has probably been the most insane year of my life. You know, buying a new car, at the end, that directly at the end of last year, because my old one literally was trying to fall to pieces on me. Then a few months later getting married, and then a few months later after that house hunting and immediately finding a house, buying a house, moving all the stuff in, sorting everything out. Whoo, man, crazy ass year. But that means I don't need to worry about anything next year, which means I'm gonna have plenty of time to actually make a fucking video. God, I say that every single year, and like nothing ends up happening. Like, oh, it's almost become like a joke. Well, no, it is a joke. Famous last words every single year. Why am I holding this up all the time? Ho ho ho, enjoy your new year. Enjoy 2024. Yep, look out for Shark Spectacular Volume 2, the long not awaited sequel to Shark Spectacular Volume 1 from 10 years ago. Yeah. So enjoy the rest of the festive season, and hopefully I can get this fucking video out before midnight tomorrow night. Cheers.